Hello and welcome to Undead Gaming News, your one-stop shop for all things gaming. I'm your host Zombie, and first up this week, Larian Studios has officially announced Baldur's Gate 3's long-awaited physical edition coming to PC, PS5, and Xbox Series X in Q1 of 2024. The physical Baldur's Gate 3 Deluxe edition will be priced at $80, also £80, and notably, it will be playable on disc, although it will take a few discs to support the game. The PS5 version will have 2 discs, while the Xbox version will come with 3 discs. The PC version, meanwhile, has a custom installer and comes with a Steam key. Larian's director of publishing, Michael Dowse, said, "This experiment is what we feel the future of physical media looks like, at least for us at Larian. We spent the last few months learning how to do it from scratch and put everything we learned from the collector's edition into what we hope is unbeatable value for what we're considering our standard physical version going forward. If it works out, we'll keep doing it this way. We understand the value of physical media, and while there are clearly increasingly significant challenges when it comes to the archiving of games, we truly believe it's worth experimenting, even if it does mean a fuck ton of discs. It will be sold exclusively on the Larian store, where it's currently available for pre-order, but the studio does note that it's not a collector's edition, so don't panic if you don't get your hands on it right away. In addition to an oversized exclusive game box and all existing digital deluxe content, the physical deluxe edition will also include the following: the original soundtrack on 3 CDs, a cloth world map, 2 fabric patches, 32 stickers, and a Baldur's Gate 3 art poster. It's also worth noting that as part of the digital content, you will also have the original soundtrack, meaning with this version, you will have a physical copy of the soundtrack spread across 3 CDs as well as a digital version to download. But also in the news, shortly after a leak confirmed its existence, Naughty Dog has officially revealed The Last of Us Part 2 Remastered for PS5, confirming the release date as well as January 19th, 2024. Notably, those who already own The Last of Us Part 2 on PS4 will be able to upgrade to a digital version of The Last of Us Part 2 Remastered on PS5 for $10. Save files will also be imported into Part 2 Remastered. However, Naughty Dog has clarified that upgrades for disc copies of the PS4 version are only available if, of course, you have a PS5 with a disc drive, as owners of the PS4 disc copies must insert them into the PS5 every time they want to download or play the PS5 digital version. There's no mention of a PC version of the remaster. However, the new PS5 version will feature a new roguelike survival mode called No Return. In this mode, players can choose their own path through a series of randomized encounters with different enemies and locations throughout the story. Players must fight and survive for as long as they can to reach bosses. There will be unlockable characters in No Return, some of which were never playable in the franchise and possess unique gameplay traits. Additionally, there's also a speedrun mode for players to try and best each other's times in, and a new feature called Guitar Free Play, where players can unlock instruments. There will also be new unlockable character and weapon skins for both Ellie and Abby, as well as more behind-the-scenes features too. Lost Levels, for example, lets players explore early development versions of 3 new levels that were not seen in the original PS4 game. This remaster will output at 4K in fidelity mode and have faster loading times, as well as full DualSense integration. However, in other news, PlayStation has revealed some new details of its India Hero project, the company's big push into exploring India's game market, first announced back in May of 2023. As a follow-up to the successful China Hero project, the new initiative aims to support developers in India to bring their games to the PS5. The gaming market in India is currently worth an estimated $868 million in 2023, which is expected to nearly double by 2027. Recent advances in affordable high-spec smartphones, coupled with the Indian government's investments in affordable high-speed mobile internet, has made mobile platforms more easily accessible to gamers in India. And while console and PC platforms are currently tiny, PlayStation and Xbox are building support programs to help local developers to bring their games to both domestic and global audiences. The India Hero Project is a program where developers based in India can pitch their games to PlayStation, with a committee of 9 Sony employees assessing each game. Sony will offer financial, technical and marketing support, and in some cases, perhaps even publish the games directly. China Hero Project began in 2016 and is now in its 3rd round, with acclaimed games such as Forged in Shadow Torch finding reasonable global success. The aims of India Hero Project are twofold: increase PlayStation's share in India's console market by delivering culturally relevant games there, and bring those games to a global audience of PlayStation 5 owners. To achieve this, PlayStation will offer participating developers not only financial support but also mentorship and training so that they can apply the skills they may have built up on mobile or PC game development to making games for the PS5. For example, developers selected for India Hero Project may learn how to use the DualSense controller's haptic feedback and adaptive triggers, or how to take advantage of the ultra-fast SSD memory, with dedicated technical support provided by Sony. Or on the marketing front, they may learn how to make their games more accessible to the wide global audience of PlayStation 5 owners The first slate of games will officially be announced sometime between February and April of 2024. But in other news, publisher Humble Games has announced layoffs at the company. Staff members first discussed the layoffs via social media as they began looking for new jobs. It's still unconfirmed how many people are actually affected, but in a statement which first reported the layoffs, Humble confirmed that it had said goodbye to valued colleagues, and blamed the job losses on industry trends. A Humble Games spokesperson said in a statement, "Yesterday was a difficult day for Humble Games, and we can confirm that we had to say goodbye to valued colleagues, like many companies this year. We have experienced trends that required this restructure in order to ensure our long-term success. It's especially worth noting that everyone impacted by these changes are talented, dedicated individuals who made a huge impact. Humble Games remains focused and committed to working with amazing indie developers to bring their experiences to players around the world in the years ahead." Now, of course, Humble Games is not the only company this year to be announcing layoffs as the list continues to grow, but even this week there is more, such as Digital Bros, the parent company of 505 Games, and a number of other gaming subsidiaries, which have now announced an organisational review, which will see them lay off around 30% of their workforce. As per its own figures, Digital Bros currently employs 442 people across the company, meaning its newly announced layoffs will likely impact around 130 workers globally. The company says it's making these cuts after reviewing projects across its development studios and publishing units, which include 505, Assetto Corsa, developer Kunos Simulazioni, Puzzle Quest studio Infinity Plus 2, and Terraria mobile developer DR Studios, in order to align with the evolving competitive environment and ensure maximum operational efficiency. Digital Bros said in a press release, "The video game market has evolved since the pandemic to be more selective in terms of new games, with consumers increasingly reverting to well-established intellectual properties and playing these same games for longer periods." Following its market assessment and sweeping job cuts, Digital Bros says that it will adopt a new strategy that will see it focus on sequels and new versions of previously successful and established games, with a limited number of new, larger budget productions. As for our final story, Amazon is also cutting just over 180 jobs in its games division, and also making some changes to its games initiatives according to a memo that was sent to employees by VP of Amazon Games, Christoph Hartmann. The changes include shutting down its Crown channel that streams on Twitch, closing its game growth effort that helps game makers market their products, and refocusing the work it does with its free games offered through Prime Gaming. As for Prime Gaming's free games, which you access if you are an Amazon Prime subscriber, Christoph's memo stated, "We've listened to our customers, and we know delivering free games every month is what they want most. So we are refining our Prime benefit to increase our focus there." The new changes follow layoffs that was announced back in April of 2023 of more than 100 staffers in Amazon's games organization. Those layoffs affected staffers in Prime Gaming, Game Growth, and at the company's San Diego studio. More broadly, Amazon has cut thousands of jobs throughout this year, along with the increasingly long list of other companies that have also been announcing layoffs this year. But that's all we have time for this week. If you have any thoughts on anything discussed this week, please leave it in the comment section below as always, and I will see you next week. Goodbye.